Hey guys, GNT here, and today we're talking about episode 2 of Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise. Goodness, that is a ton of title right there. Anywho, with this episode, they talked about how this is a story mission, basically like any old video game. You have a mission, you have the next mission, and the next mission. It all links to one big story. Usually that's a formula for like MMO type situations, or heck, mobile games like the freaking Gundam mobile game that I haven't played in like a month. Yeah, so turns out that they just did stage 1, so they have to continue going through this stuff, and with stage 2, they have to defend a village from mobile suits. Very simple. So, here's the thing. With this episode, they did a bunch of explaining and dialoguing about stuff that more than likely isn't going to matter all that much. And then they did a training exercise to try and be prepared for when they have to protect this village. And when you look at it, you can clearly see exactly who's going to be the problem in this formation. Like Par, who is the cat person thingamabobber, has issues with being surrounded. So the best thing to do would be to keep the enemies from getting close to Par. Par has ranged attacks. They could just, Par could just watch your back. Boom, easy. But that's not the weakest link of this team. It is clearly Kazumi. I believe that was his name. I hope that was his name. The Justice Knight guy. He is clearly the weakest link in this team. And I don't think it's necessarily because his machine is any bad. It's just him. Because he seems to be stupid. And that's not even an exaggeration. Every time that they start this up, he did the exact same thing. And goodness, that's actually insanity. He did the exact same thing every time, thinking that he'd get a different result, and he didn't. He kept on doing that little spear charge, and every time they blocked it, and then he got blasted by friendly fire because he's an idiot. And then the enemies got into the base. Even when they did succeed, they only succeeded by 1 to 2%. So it's all what's the term? Screwed. That's the best way I can say this. Yeah, so the whole point of this episode was basically set up for the next episode. Like, because they didn't do the actual mission here. We're going to see what happens next episode. I'm assuming that this core Gundam can have other transformations with other riding units, because that's what it looks like. Because at the end, he pulled out a case that said Mars on it. And I didn't think that was a mobile suit. Looked more like a freaking riding unit for him to use. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm actually wrong all the time. But ignore me being wrong, because that happens. But yeah, that looks like it's the most interesting thing that we got out of this episode, is that there's a possibility that core Gundam can have multiple forms, which is kind of something I assumed when I first saw the first transformation, because anything that transforms like that can have a different pack registered to it, It's like Gundam Seed with the strike. When you first see it do its thug thizzle, you don't think, oh, well, we're going to see more stuff to it, and then they add something to it. I was like, so there's going to be additional parts to this thing. That's how I felt with the core Gundam. I'm like, so there's going to be additional parts to this thing. So, I guess that makes my blue complaint invalid, seeing as they're going to start using other stuff. But here's the question. If they're using other types of riders and stuff, because what he had seemed to be like black and red. So, does that mean that when he uses that, it's going to be entirely too black? That's what I'm wondering now. So, I'm hoping that it'll look cool. That's all I ask most of the time. Most of the time. Sometimes I ask for more. But for this time, I'm asking that just looks cool. Because when it comes to Gundams and series like this, which is basically a no-stakes series, unless you're really invested in how the outcomes are for these characters and their virtual lives, because when they get blasted and shot down, they don't die. You know, I said that in the last video. That's the thing about these series. Nobody's gonna actually be hurt. Now, when I see somebody actually get hurt, I'll be like, oh, well, I stand corrected. People can actually get hurt in this. Also, by the way, the Gunpla that I do have in there is a real grade Build Strike Gundam full package. Boom. I was right. And I said I'd mention that. I went in there, looked in the closet. Also, my Wing Gundam, because I was thinking about the old Gunpla that I had, which I actually did end up building. Or, no, I actually didn't build that one either. It's just when I moved, I lost it. Oh, gosh darn it. Oh, that hurts. But, the one that I have in there is a master grade Endless Waltz Wing Gundam. So, there's that. Goodness. I think that might be why I'm not building them right now, because, heck, last time I did, I moved and never saw them again, because I had a freaking Strike Freedom that I had built. It was beautiful. I had a Death Scythe, Endless Waltz Death Scythe. Beautiful. I'm getting off track and off topic. Thinking a little too much. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Oh, wait. One more thing. While watching this episode, the thing that I felt the most is that there is a good story that we missed. Because Hiroto keeps having flashbacks to stuff that happened in the past that looks way more interesting than what's actually going on. It's like, hey, they had a good story here at one point. That's not the story we're seeing. But his past looks interesting. But his current day, it's just, it's okay. Here's the thing. When I watch anime, I don't like when they do full-on flashback episodes to show stuff that happened in the past. But at the same time, it looks like it would be way more interesting. But here's the thing. I prefer that be the series. I don't like the whole, we're going to do 2 episodes showing past events that happened in this character's life that you didn't see to understand what's going on now. I don't care about that. That's not something I'm interested in. But when you do a whole series based on some backstory stuff, that's different. But here's the thing. I would need that to be the initial series. Oh, goodness. You know, just tell people how Hiroto came to be the character he is now. Because whenever he does flashbacks, he seems happy. Like now, he seems depressing. But in his flashbacks, he seems like the happiest guy you'd ever want to meet. Seems like he loves Gunpla. Like he's having a marvelous time. Maybe it's the white chick. I don't know. I'm sure we'll see her at some point. And then we'll know. Because as soon as she pops up, either he'll get really happy or he will get angry and more depressed. But we have to wait and see on that one. Anywho, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. I don't know. I didn't like it as much as the first, but that's because this one kind of felt like it dragged on for a little bit. Like there was a lot of stuff that I think they could have just ignored or skipped. Kind of like how Hiroto just left out and said he'd read the log later. That's how I felt about this episode. I wanted to just stop it there and read a friggin' summary of it later. Be like, yeah, I don't need to watch all this to know what happened in this episode. I'll just read up on it later. But nah, I went on ahead and finished it. Cause like it was dumb stuff. And here arguing with these animal people. Well, just the one girl. And it felt so unnecessary. But anywho, goodness, I've come to the point where I want to stop this multiple times and I think of something else to say. I wanted to, oh, wait a second. No, I'm just kidding. Anywho, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. and have a great day.